Welcome back to Mastering MHA MBA. This is Chapter 6, Part 3, the final part. Activity-Based Management, ABM. We have the better numbers from ABC. Now we use them to make better decisions. Pricing, cost reduction, process improvement, design. And we look at how hospitals use time-driven ABC to bend the cost curve. Quick recap. Part 1 explained why simple costing systems lie. Part 2 ran the fix on Plastim and watched the CL5 lens jump from $97 to $132. Today we use those numbers. ABM is the action layer on top of ABC. By the end of this video, you will use ABC to drive 4 kinds of decisions: pricing and product mix, cost reduction, process improvement, product design. You will read the LG Electronics procurement case and the MD Anderson Hospital case. Both real, both recent. Activity-based management, ABM. The textbook defines it as a method of management decision-making that uses ABC information to improve customer satisfaction and profitability. 4 decision domains: pricing and product mix, cost reduction, process improvement, design. ABC tells you the cost, ABM tells you what to do about it. Pricing decisions first. Once you have accurate cost per product, pricing becomes a real conversation about margin. ABC reveals overpriced products that are losing share. It also reveals underpriced products that are quietly losing money. Both errors cost the company, both fixable but only with the better number. Plastim is the case in point. Without ABC, the simple system said S3 cost $58.75. Bandix at 53 looked unprofitable. Plastim might have exited the S3 business. With ABC, S3 costs $49.98. Plastim offers Giovanni 52 and keeps the business. Meanwhile, they renegotiate CL5 upward because the real margin is only $4.93. ABC saves the company from the wrong strategic move. Cost reduction is the second ABM use. ABC tells you exactly which activity is expensive and exactly what drives it. Set a target on the cost allocation rate. Plastim's distribution rate is 580 per cubic foot. Set a goal of 540 by improving labor and warehouse use. The cost driver itself is the second lever. Pack lenses tighter, ship less air. Look at the math. S3 cubic feet dropped from 45,000 to 40,000. CL5 from 22,500 to 20,000. The rate drops from 580 to 540. Multiply through. Total annual savings $67,500. 2 levers, both attacking the same cost. ABC made both levers visible. Critical concept: costs incurred versus resources used. The total distribution cost is still $391,500 in the short run. But after improvements, products only consume $324,000 of distribution work. The $67,500 difference is unused capacity. ABC surfaces it. Managers either redeploy or cut. The simple costing system would have hidden it. Design decisions. ABC reveals which design choices drive cost. Mold complexity drives design cost, materials, setup, and machine operations all at once. Reduce parts and surface area, drop the cost on 5 activities. Direct labor hours never showed designers any of this. Activity drivers do. Real-world case: LG Electronics. $40 billion per year on procurement. Their first chief procurement officer ran an ABC analysis and found most procurement spend was going to administrative tasks, not strategic ones. The cleanup, centralized purchasing, standardized parts across product lines, and a global China-based supply capability. ABC is also a budgeting tool. Calculate budgeted activity rates at the start of the year. Use them for planning and decisions. At year-end, compare budgeted to actual to evaluate performance. When activities or processes change, recalculate the rates. Same basic discipline as standard costing, but at the activity level. ABC is not just for factories. Service and merchandising firms use it too. Cooperative Bank, Braintree Hospital, BCtel Telecom, Union Pacific Railroad, all have implemented ABC. In service firms, indirect costs are most of the cost structure and direct costs are tiny. ABC is the standard tool for assigning indirect cost to revenue line. Cooperative Bank. They calculated the cost of each banking activity. ATM transactions, account opening, mortgage administration, Visa transaction processing. Used time-based rates to cost individual products and customer segments. Found the profitable ones. Cut or repriced the unprofitable ones. Time-driven activity-based costing, TDABC, two-step process. Step 1. Calculate a capacity cost rate. Total resource cost divided by time available. Step 2. Multiply by the time each activity actually consumes for each cost object. Simpler to set up than full ABC and easier to maintain. Service operations love it. MD Anderson Cancer Center used TDABC on head and neck procedures. Process time dropped 16%. Technical staff cost dropped 12%. Professional staff cost dropped 67%. Total cost per patient dropped 36%. Outcomes did not get worse. The simple costing system had hidden where the cost actually lived. When does ABC pay off? 3 signs. Indirect costs are a high percentage of total costs. Products differ in volume, batch size, or complexity. And operations staff disagrees with the reported product costs. If you have any two of these, ABC almost certainly pays for itself. ABC is not free. Lots of measurements to set up. Activity rates need regular updates. As you add more activities, time allocation across them gets fuzzy, and supervisors become less reliable estimators. Plus, more pools mean more potential for misclassification. Many companies stop at a less detailed ABC system that captures 80% of the benefit at 20% of the cost. Behavioral issues are the make or break for ABC. First, win top management support. Communicate strategic benefits, not technical details. USAA Federal Savings Bank made the case by showing how ABC would reveal previously invisible bank operations efficiency. Without executive urgency, ABC implementation stalls. Second behavioral issue. Build a coalition across the value chain. Operations managers know more about activities and cost drivers than the finance team does. Third, train workers in ABC. WS Industries gave employees a cut of the cost savings. Empowered employees drive bottom-up cost-saving projects. Fourth behavioral issue. Hunt small short-run wins to build credibility. Big changes overnight rarely work. Show one process improvement saved real money, then tackle the next. Fifth, recognize that ABC is not perfect. Communicate trade-offs honestly. Do not oversell. The system gets weaponized in turf wars when managers feel the numbers are being used against them. One important exception. Public service institutions. The US Postal Service knows rural delivery costs more than urban delivery. ABC tells them so. But they cannot charge rural customers higher prices for fairness and community building reasons. ABC still helps them understand, manage, and reduce cost. It just does not drive pricing in this context. Exam-ready takeaways. CMA writers test 3 things on Part 3. Use ABC for pricing, product mix, and cost reduction decisions. Distinguish costs incurred from resources used. That capacity distinction is critical. And apply TDABC to a service operation. The hospital case is the canonical exam scenario. Chapter 6 in 3 parts. Part 1, the costing problem and the 3 guidelines. Part 2, ABC mechanics with Plastim 7 activities and the 4-part hierarchy. Part 3, activity-based management for pricing, cost reduction, design, and the hospitals using TDABC. Source for everything in this chapter, Datar and Rajan, Managerial Accounting, Pearson. Subscribe to Mastering MHA MBA. Chapter 7, Cost Volume Profit Analysis, is up next.